going on.
Thank you so much.
Pay like $1 million.
Shout out TMZ, you up?
Let me check out that rig.
TMZ stands for the Mayweather Zone.
How'd you find me, bro? I got my disguise on.
I love my TMZ family. Smooch.
Welcome to TMZ Sports. I'm Mike Babcock with my guy, as always, Mojo Muhtadi. Mojo, we're going to start with Deion Sanders and the football world still reacting to the shocking news that, of course, we learned earlier in the week that Deion Sanders was diagnosed with bladder cancer. Thankfully, thanks to some interventions from some really good doctors, Mojo, they were able to cure Deion of the cancer, but still an incredibly scary and a really serious situation for Prime, Mojo. And again, like I said, you've got a lot of people now around the league, not just fans, but former teammates of Deion Sanders who are reacting to this scary news, including Brett Favre, Mojo. Brett Favre, who people may not remember, but the guys, they have been friends for decades, really close friends, actually, but they were also teammates on the Atlanta Falcons. Of course, before Brett went on to have this all-time career with the Packers, he was drafted in 1991 by Atlanta. Deion was the superstar in town, and those guys really became tight and were tight from that moment on. Of course, Mojo, Brett Favre himself dealing with the Parkinson's diagnosis, so he knows what it's like to be an NFL legend and go through serious health problems. We actually had an opportunity this week, Mojo, to speak with Brett about Deion. Here's Brett Favre.
Most people, I was totally shocked. And listening to his press conference, it seemed to be something that shocked him and maybe even the doctors, because he didn't go in for that. He was maybe getting a physical or getting checked out, and they found that. Thank God they found it, and it was a successful surgery. But I was completely caught off guard, with the news. But I'm thankful that the prognosis looks good.
And he's not, had no intentions of walking away. What does that say about Deion and just that, what football means to him and these kids and what they.
I'm not surprised. He's a grinder. When I was with Atlanta, my first year, Deion was, of course, a cornerback, and he had already solidified his place in NFL lore already. Took me under his wing, but I got a chance to watch him. One thing about Deion, he was never a tackler, and he would admit that, but he worked his butt off. And I tell the story to so many people. He called me country. He said, country, for every pass you complete on me in practice, I'll give you $5. I think I owed him $500 to $1,000 at the end of the year. He played every play in practice as if it were the Super Bowl winning play. And so I'm not surprised that he's digging his heels in and is going to keep coaching.
I would have loved to see those battles in practice, Mojo. You got two all-time greats going at it, but I think it just goes to show that Brett knew that Deion was never stepping away from coaching. He was always going to be on that sideline.
Yeah, we need to start a new side hustle, Babcock, where we get old school practice tape and we break down how these players really did in practice. Because some of the stars, they go hard. Others, they wait for game day and they do next to nothing during the week. So that would be fun. But getting back on track here, as Brett just said, Deion is a grinder, right? I mean, Deion is kind of a real-life superhero. And with these guys, you just assume that they can overcome anything. You look at the odds that they overcame, the obstacles that they surpassed, the championships they won, the records they broke, and you just put in your head that these guys are absolutely indestructible. Then they get a cancer diagnosis, and a lot of people think, man, that's Deion, Coach Prime. That's fine. People get cancer. He's going to beat it for sure because he's a grinder. He's tough. He leaves it all out there, and that's just not always the reality, right? I mean, cancer can take down anybody, anytime. It can happen so quickly, and there's nobody that's always going to win that battle. I mean, that could really take down anybody. So it's a scare and it's a shock. And when you're talking about teammates that were along for the ride firsthand, that were there at practices and the games, whether maybe it's a teammate, maybe it was an opponent, but they got to see all of this firsthand. So seeing these cancer diagnoses has got to really kind of stun those players. But I mean, You talk to Brett here, he's not surprised one bit that Prime's staying in the game, that he's not stepping away. I mean, that's kind of all he knows, right? I mean, that's just ingrained into his personality. And again, nobody's really surprised by this. Doesn't make the prognosis any less scary. No. But again, it just speaks testament to Coach Prime's character.
Yeah, absolutely, Mojo. And I think, look, whether you're a Buffaloes fan or not, you like Colorado, you don't like Colorado, I think most people can probably agree that college football is a lot better and a lot more exciting and interesting with Deion Sanders a part of the sport. Mojo, it's been exactly a week to the day since we lost the legendary Hulk Hogan. And now we have a cause of death, Mojo. Of course, it was Thursday morning, a little bit after 9:51 a.m. to be exact, where there was a 911 call made to Hulk's home for somebody who was in cardiac arrest. Obviously, sadly, despite the best efforts of paramedics and doctors, there was nothing that could be done. And a little bit after 11 a.m., Hulk Hogan was declared deceased at 71 years old. Well, Mojo, we now know again, thanks to some medical exam records that we have obtained, that Hulk Hogan died of a heart attack. It's officially called or determined to be acute myocardial infarction. Essentially, again, that is a heart attack in layman's terms. We had been told from people who were close to Hulk Hogan that he had been dealing with some heart issues, and obviously, ultimately, and sadly, this was the cause of Hulk's death, Mojo. So, yeah, it's look, it's still sad. You still got the world reacting. People still devastated over this. Part of people's childhood, in many cases, gone. And now we know what the cause was, Mojo.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I mean, this is still getting wall-to-wall attention.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's just a testament to who Hulk Hogan was. He had so many friends, so many fans all over the world. And I know we've talked about it several times this week, but again, still a week later of trying to think of the world's biggest stars, biggest sports stars, biggest entertainers. You can't think of many names that are bigger than Hulk. Can't think of any that are truly bigger. I mean, maybe some in the same breath, but I mean, he's on the Rushmore of this thing, and he just surpasses the sport, the business as a whole. And it's just, man, what a testament to who he was. It's just really sad, man. I mean, for me, I felt like this just really came out of the blue. I got the update, the notification on my phone, and it kind of shocked me. And, you know, granted, very recently he was in the news for having some health issues, and people were going back and forth as to how serious it might be, how long he was going to be on the sidelines. I don't know if anybody was really thinking it was going to potentially lead to a death. It was just more like a short-term thing that Hulk Hogan was going to kick out of, to put it back into wrestling terms. I mean, Hulk Hogan, you know, in his 70s, you think about the life that this guy lived, pro wrestling, entertainment, movies, TV, and maintaining that energy level, that Hulkamania energy level, you know, like that's obviously going to be a lot of strain on the body all the time in the gyms and the supplements, shoot, the tanning. I mean, all of it, man. I mean, this dude took no shortcut when it came to putting together a body of work. And it's just sad. In the end of the day, it was a heart attack that took him down. And, you know, the world is still mourning here. You know, hopefully for the family, maybe having some answers gives them a little bit of peace here. But again, it's going to be a long time that the world's still going to feel these effects. Yeah, absolutely, Mojo. And I think the reality is there will never be another Hulk Hogan. He was truly one of a kind. He was unique, and he is irreplaceable. Before we move on here, another thing to note from the report, nobody knew this, not at least publicly, Mojo. They also revealed that Hulk Hogan had been dealing with a form of cancer, Mojo, and hopefully I'm not going to mispronounce this, but called chronic lymphocytic leukemia, so a form of leukemia that had not been known publicly. The bottom line is that Hulk Hogan is gone, and again, this will be somebody who will always be remembered. He will never be replaced. Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. Up next, Gilbert Arenas pleads not guilty to running an illegal gambling business out of his house. You won't believe Agent Zero's reaction when leaving jail after posting bond on Wednesday. Stay with us.
Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike and Mojo. Mojo, in yesterday's show, we talked about this huge arrest in Southern California. Gilbert Arenas, former NBA star, arrested and accused of being part of an illegal gambling ring. Well, Mojo, Gil says he didn't do it. He has officially pled not guilty in front of a judge, and he is now out of jail, Mojo. We actually have video of when he walked out of the jail. Take a look.
You better not. Can't hold me, baby. You can't hold me.
So there he was, Mojo. Much like Gilbert Arenas' personality, he doesn't seem to be sweating this too much. Now, we get the video of him walking down the stairs outside of the jailhouse. And now we've also got this tweet by Gilbert, and this will play into not taking this so seriously. I'm back on the block like it's hot. This ain't got bleep to do with me. Just rented the house. Wasn't a part of the festivities. And then he hashtags Snitch and Gil coming soon. 51-0, the Mayweather of court. So he says he's undefeated in court, Mojo, and, well, Snitch and Gil, I think that pretty much speaks for itself. Gil is about to start talking, singing like a bird, Mojo, and he's clearly saying here, hey, this wasn't me, but I'll tell you what I know.
Snitch and Gil, bro. Maybe that hashtag starts trending. I mean, that says to me that whoever tried to take him down or gave him up is about to get their comeuppance. There might be some vengeance coming here. That's just me reading between the lines. This does not look like the face of a man that thinks he's going to be in trouble anytime soon. You got to think at this point he's already spoken with his attorneys, and you don't leave the courtroom looking like that if you're worried about what's coming around the corner. He's saying he's not guilty, clarifying that he says he's not guilty to the charges. I'm sure there was something related to this. I mean, his name was on the table, and there's that. So interpret that as you will. He did say that he rented the house. There was some involvement, but hey, he's saying he's not guilty to the charges, and he is ready to sing like a bird. So on the plus side, this is about to get extremely entertaining for us. But I'm watching this video, Babcock, and I'm seeing shades of Deion Sanders. Say that a few times fast after the speeding ticket. A little bit different of a situation, a lot of bit different of a situation, but he wasn't sweating that one either, and that went nowhere, so maybe Gil is following in his footsteps.
The Baltimore Ravens looking to improve their skills in the swimming pool. The team makes a pitch to the greatest American swimmer of all time, but is Michael Phelps up for the challenge? Find out next on TMZ Sports.
Want to be the first in your group chat to know the hottest Hollywood news like
ASAP Rocky, not guilty. He leapt into the audience.
insane? The TMZ Podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike and Mojo. Mojo, time for some NFL summer camp. We're going to go to Baltimore. Look, the Ravens, I think, most people agree, Mojo, one of the, 3 or 4 best teams in the entire NFL. So they don't necessarily need help on the gridiron, Mojo. But there is a place where they could use some assistance, and that is in the swimming pool. Watch this.
Hey, Mr. Phelps, we have a problem. Did you know that 1 in 3 Ravens cannot swim?
We have a solution for you, sir.
Come to Ravens training camp in this beautiful aquatic center and teach us how to swim.
All right, Mojo, so there it was. You've got a couple Baltimore Ravens players making a pitch to arguably the greatest Olympian of all time, Michael Phelps. 23-time gold medalist, not just medalist, like gold medalist, Michael Phelps, Mojo. If the video wasn't enough, Ravens star Marlon Humphreys went to social media page and he said, we got a problem that only Michael Phelps can fix from the Ravens aquatics team. So it's clear, all the players, they want Michael Phelps to help. They didn't want any old, ordinary swim coach. Mojo, they want the best. Well, there you go. You got the best because I got y'all. Let's do it. Michael Phelps is in. I don't think, Mojo, if another team had asked, say this was like the New York Jets or something, I don't think he's saying yes. Michael Phelps is from the area and is a huge Ravens fan, and I think that's why they ask and they receive. So not too bad. If you need to learn how to swim, Mojo, who else would you want to learn from than Michael Phelps?
I am not surprised one bit that Michael Phelps accepted this. I actually met Michael Phelps at Super Bowl one year. I was wearing my sleeveless white Maryland flag suit,
Ooh.
right? The whole suit is just the Maryland flag. It looks kind of crazy. And Michael Phelps came up to me and he started asking me all about the suit, telling me how much he loves it. My point being, that man loves everything Maryland. He holds down for the state like none other. So if the Ravens, our pride and joy in Maryland after the Maryland Terrapins, of course, come calling, Michael Phelps, the Olympic champion 100,000 times over, is absolutely going to answer the call. There's no question about that whatsoever. Yeah. The question here, Babcock, is the motive behind the Baltimore Ravens team. I'm going to translate this for you because it is not what they're claiming this is, Babcock. These guys are in their 20s and their 30s. If they wanted to learn how to swim, they would have learned how to swim by now. These guys are making millions of dollars. They don't care about learning how to swim. What they care about right now is finding any reason whatsoever to get out of a training camp practice, all right? It is hot back home. I know. I played college ball in Maryland. It is an inferno out there. And during camp, it's a lot. It's a lot on the body. It's a lot on the mind. You're getting your ass kicked 2,000 times a day. The heat, the weightlifting, the conditioning, the film study. The list goes on. And during camp, you're just hoping. It's like that one practice every camp that every coach gives you, like that fun day. You get out there, you do warm-ups, and then coach blows the whistle for the first drill. And the first drill is going inside and going swimming or something fun like that to cool off in the heat. That is what they're trying to set this up for, Babcock. They're trying to divert the practice schedule. I give them all the credit in the world for the facade, but they ain't fooling me.
CBS pulling the plug on Stephen Colbert and The Late Show. Well, now a WWE legend is throwing his hat in the ring as a potential replacement. Find out who when TMZ Sports rolls on right after this.
Buckle up, party people, because the TMZ After Dark Tour has hit Hollywood. Get ready for a 2-hour rager on wheels. Join Ray J and other guest hosts as he shows you the hottest restaurants, sickest clubs, and stops at banging bars along the way. Plus, DJ Miles dropping beats as we cruise down Sunset and Hollywood Boulevard, baby. The festivities kick off every weekend from the Hard Rock Cafe at 7:30 p.m. So head to TMZTour.com to book your tickets for the TMZ After Dark Tour. It's gonna be epic.
Welcome back to TMZ Sports, Mike and Mojo. Mojo, CBS recently made big news when they announced that Stephen Colbert, next year, in 2026, he was out as host of The Late Show. Not just that, Mojo, nobody was going to be replacing Colbert because they also announced that the show was going away, that The Late Show, after decades and decades as one of the real preeminent late-night shows, would be gone in just a matter of mere months. Well, Mojo, there's somebody who thinks that's a really bad idea. Somebody who you know, we're talking about WWE Hall of Famer Paul Heyman. Now, Paul Heyman is in the New York City area because they've got SummerSlam this weekend in Jersey. Big deal in the professional wrestling world, Mojo. So when a camera guy saw Paul Heyman out, he made a pitch to CBS. I think they should take him up on this. Watch this.
There he is. That's my guy.
You're everywhere.
I'm everywhere. Paul, good to see you again. CBS just announced that they're getting rid of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. You have any thoughts on that?
I think it's the dumbest move CBS has ever made.
Why?
Why? Because they fired Stephen Colbert and they canceled the show. CBS should have kept the show, renamed it The Late Show starring Paul Heyman. Can you imagine every night except for Mondays when I'm on Raw? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. Welcome to The Late Show. If CBS wants ratings, call me. WWE Hall of Famer, by God.
Now, Mojo, that's a show I'd watch.
Interesting. SummerSlam coming up this weekend. I mean, Paul Heyman is the advocate. I figured he would have been advocating for Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, any of these guys that he's managed to take the shot. But Paul Heyman's keeping that one to himself. He says he wants that job. I mean, hey, it would be interesting to get a pro wrestler hosting that show. I mean, obviously, we're really good at coming off the cuff with things, but I got to think if there was one pro wrestler who would get that job, I wonder who would be the most fitting, the most appropriate. I think there's a lot of people out there that would say that's right up John Cena's alley. That would make a lot of sense. You can't have a current guy. They're full-time. They can't do both. There's no way that's going to happen. Maybe Cena's doing too many movies. A lot of people maybe throw out The Rock, his schedule. Maybe a little bit too insane. Some people would probably recommend Mojo, but that would be a massive step down from TMZ Sports, so there's absolutely no chance that this bromance is breaking up with Babcock. But I don't know. We'll find somebody to take that slot, Babcock, but it ain't going to be us.
All right, Mojo, we are just about out of time. We heard from Brett Favre today, obviously talking about his good buddy, Deion Sanders. We're going to have more of our conversation with the Hall of Famer tomorrow. Mojo, look, one of the biggest storylines and most interesting storylines going into this NFL season is Aaron Rodgers with the Pittsburgh Steelers. How does the marriage with Tomlin work? How does the team perform on the field? They were one of the better teams in the AFC for a good part of last season, Mojo. Tomorrow, we're going to talk to the guy who was once Aaron Rodgers' teammate, still his friend to this day, Mojo. So more with the great Brett Favre tomorrow. A bunch of other big things to talk about, Mojo. Bottom line, it's going to be a great show.
Packers quarterback GOATs will absolutely make tomorrow the best show since today.
I'm a lawyer.